Good day, everyone, and thanks for joining us for this webinar on ISS National Lab Research Announcement, or NLRA, focused on in-space production applications in the areas of advanced materials and manufacturing. I'm Patrick O'Neill, Public Affairs and Outreach Lead for the ISS National Laboratory, and I'll be one of your hosts for today's webinar. The purpose of these webinars is to provide helpful information to those of you interested in submitting Step 1 concept summaries for ISS National Lab research announcements. Please note this webinar is being recorded and will be available on the ISS National Lab website. At the end of this webinar, there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions. So, let's get a little into the background and history of the ISS National Lab. The Center for the Advancement of Science and Space, or CASIS, is the manager of the ISS National Lab and has served as such since 2011 through a cooperative agreement with NASA. In fact, in 2022, NASA extended this cooperative agreement for CASIS to manage the ISS National Lab through 2027. Each year, the ISS National Lab puts forth a variety of research announcements focused on targeted areas for researchers, companies, innovators, and educators alike. The ISS National Lab enables greater access to the space station, a unique platform in low Earth orbit, to bring scientific value back to people on Earth, stimulate commerce in space, and help build the space industry workforce of the future. And with that, I'd like to bring into the conversation Rose Hernandez, ISS National Lab Science Program Director for In-Space Production Applications, who will walk us through this research announcement and provide information and recommendations for viewers who decide to submit a Step 1 concept summary for consideration. Rose, good to have you here.
Thank you, Patrick.
So Rose, let's start off with the obvious question. Why conduct materials and manufacturing R&D in space?
Well, that's a great question to set the stage for this research announcement. As a materials scientist, I can say that the field of materials science has contributed to some of the remarkable technological advancements we use in our lives every day. For example, the technology in our cars and our cell phones work because the specific properties of the materials that make up their components. As society advances and the demand for more innovative technologies continue to grow, there's a crucial need for new capabilities to develop more sophisticated, engineered structures and properties. That is why we conduct materials research and development in space, to take advantage of the unique conditions on the International Space Station, or ISS. For more than a decade, materials research on station has shown the persistent microgravity offers an environment where gravitational effects like buoyancy-induced convection, currents, sedimentation, and hydrostatic pressure are minimized. The earth-bound forces that often present challenges in materials research are near absent in microgravity, allowing researchers to better control the production of materials and develop advanced materials with unique structures and properties not achievable under normal gravity conditions. In addition, the exterior platform on the ISS provides an extreme test environment for accelerated stability testing by exposing materials to the vacuum of space, extreme temperature variations, radiation, microparticle impacts, and atomic oxygen. Let's talk about the types of research this specific announcement is aimed at addressing. In today's research announcement on in-space production applications focused on advanced materials and manufacturing, we're seeking projects that lead to new or improved materials, technologies, or services only attainable in the low Earth orbit, or as we say, the LEO environment. We're looking for projects that have demonstrated a minimum technology readiness level of 4. In other words, that there is proof of concept for the technology in a terrestrial environment. We're also seeking projects that enable new business growth and capital investment, as well as projects that represent scalable and sustainable market opportunities. For this research announcement, we are looking at 3 specific priority areas. Materials for critical and emerging technologies identified as significant to the nation's technological leadership, economic prosperity, and national security. Examples of such applications are sensors, optics, lasers, clean and sustainable material technologies, renewable energy generation and storage, and quantum materials and devices. Another priority area is semiconductors and microelectronics. This means high-value materials and fabrication methods for use in novel memory and logic devices, quantum technologies, and CMOS technologies. Lastly, we're looking for proposals to conduct research that focuses on advanced manufacturing and high-throughput methods that may include advances in automation of R&D hardware, in situ analysis hardware to facilitate rapid, iterative R&D and manufacturing capabilities. Next, let's talk about a couple of examples that showcase how the ISS National Lab has been enabling the advancement of material technologies and their potential commercialization. The processing of semiconductor crystals in space can lead to more uniform structures that have an even electrical conductivity. The absence of gravity can affect atomic rearrangement and improve materials' properties, enabling the development of advanced materials and better manufacturing systems than what is possible on Earth. Stanford University leveraged microgravity to anneal copper indium sulfide semiconductor crystals in space to reduce defects that commonly occur in crystal production on Earth. Higher quality crystals would enable the development of more efficient photovoltaic devices. By annealing semiconductor materials in microgravity, researchers can reduce defect formation and achieve greater control over crystal morphology and orientation, leading to improved semiconductor properties and enabling the development of more efficient photovoltaic devices. Another research example that is currently being performed on station is the in-space production of exotic optical fiber by Flawless Photonics. With a cutting-edge automated manufacturing system capable of producing hundreds of meters of continuous Z-band fiber on the ISS, Flawless Photonics hopes to demonstrate improved fiber structure and properties compared to those produced on Earth. Through production in microgravity, researchers are aiming to get us closer to the theoretical performance of optical fiber that is hindered by gravity-induced forces like convection and segregation. For more information on this research area, check out the article Exotic Glass Fibers from Space in Upward Magazine, the official magazine of the ISS National Lab, which can be found on our website. Use the QR code and it will take you right up to Upward Online.
Thank you, Rose, for that overview on the science and technology priorities for this research announcement. Now, I'd like to introduce Derek Duflo, Operations Project Manager for the ISS National Lab. Derek, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thanks, Patrick. Glad to be here.
So, Derek, where might applicants find information about hardware and facilities that are available to support their space-based R&D goals?
Well, the ISS National Lab offers state-of-the-art hardware and capabilities that cover a wide variety of research equipment and systems for enabling advanced research and technology development. Here's a small representation of some of the internal and external facilities available on station. As technology advances, we continue to add capabilities to meet the needs of our investigators. We have a complete list of hardware and facilities on station available on our website. Applicants can access the downloadable instructions for this research announcement, which has links to the resources designed to help you identify what hardware and facilities are best suited for your research objectives. We encourage applicants to review the available hardware and facilities and reach out to our operations team with any questions. The email is on the screen now, but you can also find it in the applications materials, and we'll share it again during the webinar.
It sounds like there are facilities and hardware for all kinds of research, but it may be overwhelming for our applicants. So, Derek, how will they know what they need for their specific project?
Well, Patrick, we understand that concern, and we'll work with investigators to help identify the facilities and hardware for each specific investigation. But there's more help available to the applicants. There is a network of companies and organizations known as implementation partners who are experienced in translating ground-based science for space-based research and will help determine capabilities so researchers can maximize their success. You must work with implementation partners to design and execute your project. This is part of what we call Mission Integration and Operations, or MINO. Applicants should visit our implementation partner database and begin engaging in these conversations with these organizations early. Starting this conversation early on in the application process is important because you will need to include a statement of work and an estimated budget in your application for this research opportunity.
Well, Derek, thank you very much for the operations perspective. We appreciate you stopping by.
Happy to help.
This research announcement for in-space production applications in advanced materials and manufacturing opened on March 6th. Let's hear from Rose about the process and timeline.
We're following a two-step submission process. Step 1 is the concept summary, a short document in which applicants describe the project at a high level. Take your time and follow the instructions to submit the best concept summary possible. Consider how your proposed project addresses the research priority areas and be as detailed as you can. Step 1 concept summaries must be received no later than May 2nd, 2024. Step 2 is a full proposal submission that is by invitation only, and that is due July 8th, 2024. Both the concept summaries and full proposals will be evaluated on scientific and technological merit, operational feasibility, business and economic case, and the benefits to life on Earth. All documents and instructions for this research announcement are available on the research announcement webpage. Use the QR code on the screen to take you right to this announcement.
I'm sure most viewers are now wondering, what kind of funding is available through this research announcement?
The total funding for this research announcement is $750,000, with the anticipation of making 2 or 3 awards. CASE's funding for this NLRA is allocated to support mission integration and operation costs, which are the implementation partner costs, as well as internal project development costs required for the mission. In addition, the ISS National Lab covers the cost of up mass and down mass, crew time, and resources on the ISS. The performance periods for any project should be no longer than 3 years from the date of the award to the project completion. For those ready to download the documents and begin working on their concept summary, all of this information is on the research announcement page. In fact, there's more details in the downloadable documents than what we are reviewing with you today, including details on the Step 1 concept summary evaluation methodology. We put together some additional guidance for you. Step 1 concept summary should clarify how the project can produce materials for critical technologies only possible in the LEO environment, and how the technology will grow new business and return long-term value for continuing space manufacturing. We highly encourage applicants to connect with business subject matter experts in their organization to develop a business plan and justification. As Derek mentioned, it is important to connect with an implementation partner during Step 1 concept summary preparation for a statement of work and an estimated budget. It is highly recommended that applicants provide their implementation partner with a copy of the project evaluation criteria and ensure that the implementation partner statement of work addresses the operation criteria. Finally, it is important to describe the market potential for the product or service, and to identify the customers in general, or even better, specific customers. Funding for this research announcement is limited, and we encourage applicants to leverage investors, if possible. Such financial commitments are considered during the review process. We strongly suggest including letters of commitment from any investor, potential customers, or associated companies that demonstrated commercial interest when applicable. There are also a few general tips that are helpful for any Step 1 concept summary submission you might prepare for research with the ISS National Lab. When putting together a Step 1 concept summary, make sure to use the available resources, which you can find links to on the research solicitation page. Everything we've covered so far regarding this research announcement is all detailed in the downloadable documents and instructions available on the webpage. If your project includes a spaceflight component, connect with an implementation partner early. The scope of work and budget that you receive from your selected implementation partner is critical. Right to the evaluation criteria. Step 1 concept summaries that do not address all of the criteria or address them poorly are very likely to receive low evaluation ratings. Lastly, submit a compliant concept summary. Ensure that your research objectives are within the scope of this specific research announcement. Finally, let's do a quick review of the full schedule for submission, review, and selection. As you can see on this chart, we're now accepting Step 1 concept summaries, and these are due by May 2nd. Full proposals, which are by invitation only, are due by July 8th. Proposals will go through a review process and projects will be selected in September 2024. And that's about everything. We hope you'll apply for this research announcement focused on advanced materials and manufacturing. In closing, we invite you to download the research announcement documents, talk to an implementation partner, and prepare your submission. Be sure to send in your Step 1 concept summary by the due date, May 2nd, 2024. If you have any questions, please reach out to us.
Thank you, Rose. It's been a real pleasure talking with you today.
Thank you for having me, Patrick.
And again, thanks to Derek for joining us earlier in the webinar. To our audience, remember that the goal of ISS National Lab activities is to bring value and impact back to the U.S. economy and taxpayers by benefiting life here on Earth. Before we end this portion of the webinar, be sure to mark your calendars for our 13th Annual International Space Station Research and Development Conference, which will be held in Boston July 29th through August 1st. This is a great opportunity to network with the space community, many of whom are already conducting space-based R&D with the ISS National Lab, and we hope to see you there. And with that, it's time to take questions from you, our webinar attendees. Stay tuned.